Hi, welcome to my next video. This time I wanted to show you the video that I managed to take and the sketches I managed to paint while we were on a sketching trip in Prague with Kana and Atelier Sentō. But first let me show you the tools. Because the sketching thing was not the main part of our travel this time, I wanted to keep my kit to the minimum, so I took this smallest palette I have, only 12 colors. This one is light, it has a nice thumb hole, so it's really good for painting outside. I can just hold it and use it while I'm standing up. I filled it with 12 colors based on the Miyazaki palette I showed you in a previous video, and here is the list of the colors. I also took with me the regular soft aqua Raphael brushes that I use for my everyday painting, just 3 of them, but I used the number 10 for most of the sketches. I put them in a small metal box to keep them from being damaged while traveling, and to make this whole set complete I took some tissue paper that is needed when painting and a collapsible water tank made by Holbein. This one is really cheap, it's only about $3, but it's nice and big, so we can use it together with Kana. Additionally, I took the watercolor sketchbook, the white Watson that I used for all of my comic pages, so I was used to the paper. Usually when we go to do some traveling with Kana, we take watercolor sketchbooks or sketchbooks in general to do some drawing and painting on site. But we rarely end up doing any real work because we prefer to just go around and do photos and explore interesting places and eat and explore some more. So this time in Prague we were really lucky that Cécile and Olivier from Atelier Sentō, which you probably know from their watercolor comics and games, joined us to kind of get us into the watercolor sketching shape. And they know what they're doing because they sketch outside a lot by themselves and also with friends, and post the results of their sketching walks on their blog, which is awesome, and you have to check it out. They also have the coverage of this Prague trip there too. And because of their influence we had kind of the mindset of doing watercolors every day, so we just searched for a location and spent about an hour and a half in one place just sketching most of the times the same thing. So it's also interesting to see how other people sketch the same thing as you do and approach the same theme differently. Again, to see the results of their work, go visit their blog. We had awesome weather throughout the whole trip, so we were able to do a lot of sketches. The weather was even too good, so we had to look for places in shade. We also looked for places that we could sit at or just put our sketchbooks on a low wall or something like that, and in one of those places I managed to do some speed up footage of me coloring one of the pieces. Overall, I really liked the city and its compactness, the fact that you can go by foot almost anywhere, which is of course the complete opposite of Tokyo, where you have to take a train to go just anywhere. And of course I loved the architecture, which is really rich and full of history and full of kind of small places that you can go to, and there's always something interesting there. But of course, even though we were only sketching, we had to be careful not to be in the way of other tourists, and there were a lot of them there. So if you want to go to Prague, and I recommend it, maybe go off season. And obviously for me, when I'm visiting a city like this, which is full of art and artists also, I have to visit the art supply stores, and there are a few in Prague too. I managed to buy some nice Kohinoor things that I wanted to buy because Kohinoor is a brand that I used when I was still in Poland, and it's a Czech brand, so I wanted to buy some pencils and stuff from Kohinoor. But I'm happy the most about finally getting my hands on the Faber-Castell Eco Pigment fine liners, because they are really good with a great grip and a great tip and a waterproof black line, but really impossible to get in Japan. So I came to Prague with a small mission to find some, and I managed to buy them and actually use the 0.31 to do most of the lines of the sketches from this trip. I really enjoyed this kind of sketching vacation, and under the guidance of Atelier Sentō I managed to do 10 paintings, which is the most I did on a trip like this. And the ability to see other artists at work, teach and also learn from them is something that you cannot buy with money. So I really recommend having a trip like this, and I also really recommend visiting the websites of Kana and Atelier Sentō to see their stuff. I'll link it in the description below. Okay, that's it for this video. As always, feel free to share, comment and subscribe, and you can also support me on Patreon. See you in the next video. Bye!